guidance has two jobs. One is to reduce risk of waste, fraud, and abuse, and one is to reduce administrative burden. Now, if you step back and think about this for a minute, if you were to say, let's reduce the risk of waste, fraud, and abuse, you might think, great, let's have more forms to fill out, more oversight, more requirements, more site visit, more audits, right? We've got, these people are wasting money out there, we've got to crack down. On the other hand, if you're thinking about how do we reduce administrative burden, you're probably thinking less forms, less requirements, less site visits, less audits, less oversight, right? So if you're not careful, this can seem like two sides of the same coin and kind of tricky to navigate. So the way the COFAR thinks about this is using the concept of risk. How do we manage our grants based on risk? So what that means is in the areas where there's high risk, maybe it's a new program, a new organization is getting funding, there are new people involved, there's a lot of money involved, there's not a lot of history, or maybe there is a history, but they're almost bankrupt. That's an area where we want more oversight, right? We really want to be careful, more site visits, we want to maybe attach a few extra terms and conditions, we're going to watch that money. On the other hand, you may have some programs that are all-stars. You've been working with these people for years, you understand the players, the approach is based on evidence, it's having strong results, these guys are pros, and that might be areas where you can have a little bit less oversight. You know what you're going to find, so you can do it a little, you can kind of pull back and allow them some flexibility, try new things, innovate a little bit. That might be a less risky area. So you'll see this theme woven throughout the guidance of managing based on risk. So we think about the risk involved in our grant, and with that concept, we structure our oversight. More oversight where there's more risk, a little bit less, and a little bit more freedom where there's less risk. So that's kind of the COFAR's first goal. Then we think about standard business processes and transparency and data. And this is really where this guidance gets operationalized, right? Because as I'm sure many of you are familiar, the federal government and all layers of government collect a lot of information from recipients, right? We have application information, we have reporting information, and that information is how we manage our programs. So if you're having forms that you have to fill out and something like period of performance is defined a different way by each agency, you've got the Department of Education here, you've got your project start date over here, you've got your award date over here, signing official over here, you might have this same piece of information that you have to track 8 different ways. And so one of the goals is to standardize those pieces of information, those data elements, one, so that you can track them and manage them much more efficiently in your own systems. 2, so then the federal agency can collect them, and then ultimately make that data transparent to the taxpayer.